April in New York. This is the CBS Sunday News with Dan Rather. Good evening. Hundreds of U.S. bombers, including B-52s, have caused heavy damage and left wide areas in flames around Hanoi and Haiphong. One Russian North Vietnam plane was hit in Haiphong Harbor. Damage to that ship is believed to have been slight. Some Soviet crewmen may have been injured, but none apparently were killed. This is the first time B-52s have been used for bombing around Haiphong or Hanoi. North Vietnam claims some civilians were killed in the attacks around Hanoi. They also claim 5 U.S. planes were down, including one B-52. The United States says 3 enemy MiGs were shot down during dogfights near Hanoi, but that only 2 American planes were lost, and that all B-52s returned safely. Ed Rabel is at one of the B-52 bases in Thailand, and Bob Keeper has a report on Washington's silence about the raid. First, Rabel.
Approximately 80 B-52s are based at U Ta Pao, almost twice the number that were here before the North Vietnamese invaded the South. Some of the extra bombers reportedly were flown into this base from sites in the United States. Each of the bombers can carry 30 tons of explosives. A measure of the stepped-up B-52 missions is the constant arrival of trucks loaded with bombs for the warplane. This reporter observed an average of 1 truck arriving here every minute, and the local people say the trucks come and go from a nearby port 24 hours a day. United States officials at U Ta Pao refused to comment on the B-52. U.S. security policemen ordered our cameras to stop taking pictures and threatened to call Thai police to intervene if we refused. What is clear at U Ta Pao, however, is that American involvement in the war in Vietnam is increasing instead of slowing down. Ed Rabel, CBS News, U Ta Pao, Thailand.
Defense Secretary Laird left his home in suburban Maryland early today to confer with National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger. Later, Kissinger talked briefly with the president. But the White House would give no indication of what was discussed as Laird and other officials maintained a strict policy of silence on the raid. The bombing is seen here as a gamble that could force cancellation of the president's scheduled summit meeting next month in Moscow. With that in mind, officials were maintaining the lowest profile possible, flatly refusing to discuss reports that a Russian ship in the Haiphong harbor was hit by U.S. bombs. As for assessing the raid, sources would say only it's still too early to tell if they were successful. The administration's first official comment on the bombing is expected tomorrow morning. The Secretary of State Rogers goes before a meeting of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Bob Keeper, CBS News, Washington. CBS News will present a special broadcast of highlights of those Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearings tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Democratic Senator Edmund Muskie calls the new bombings dangerous and reckless, and Muskie says he will introduce a resolution in the Senate tomorrow demanding an immediate halt to all U.S. airstrikes against North Vietnam. In Moscow, Soviet officials summoned U.S. Ambassador Jacob Dean to hand him personally a protest note. The exact contents of that note have not been announced. In Paris, North Vietnamese negotiators say they must now reconsider whether to give up completely on the already suspended peace talks. In the ground war in South Vietnam, there are signs that the communist offensive has been slowed down, at least temporarily.
My name is Bill Warren. We're proud of our downtown mall here in Coos Bay, Oregon. I sure enjoyed helping the whole thing get started while I was mayor of Coos Bay.
I'm Bill Rickey. I'm on the board of a volunteer group that was set up to improve economic conditions in the Gallup, New Mexico vicinity to create new job opportunities for the people in this area.
I'm Bill Lampton. I belong to a group here in Chicago called Living Witnesses. We talk to potential dropouts and try to get them to stay in school.
My name is Colonel Beard. I do volunteer work with the Midland Association for Retired Children. We work with these kids to try to help them realize their potential, so when they grow up, they can be self-supporting. The things these people are doing, they do on their own. But during working hours, they're all shell people. But those shells solutions will make things a little better.
Apollo 16 astronauts Thomas Mattingly, John Young, and Charles Duke had a perfect launching on their moon mission this afternoon at Cape Kennedy, but the appearance of particles outside their spacecraft window this evening for a time caused some concern.
CBS News correspondent Morton Dean has details.
Any trip to the moon begins with a trip to the launching pad aboard a van, which to astronauts must be antique, a wheeled vehicle hugging the ground, moving at a dinosaur's pace, nothing like the equivalent of 160 million horsepower, which would soon rocket the men into space.
12, 11, 10, 9. We have ignition sequence start. The engine's now building up to
'A few problems during countdown, but liftoff was on time and picturesque. If the flanking does not follow the flight plan, then on Thursday, Young and Duke will put their footprints on the moon, spend 3 days there. While Mattingly mans the command module overhead, it's called Casper. Namesake Casper the Ghost, the lunar lander is Orion, not Iris, but Celestial. The flanking was noticed during a tricky in-flight docking maneuver this afternoon, and almost continuously since then. We see Young and Duke dispatched into the LEM this evening for a look-see. Aircraft Commander Young reporting, sure is something strange. Never saw anything like that. The worry of this evening contrasting with the elation shortly after launch when Mattingly played tourist guide. Absolutely something. Morton Dean, CBS News, Space Headquarters, New York.
A top jet of a domestic Italian airline crashed in a heavy rainstorm tonight 50 miles south of Rome. Police say all 18 persons aboard that Rome Concordia flight were killed. In Washington, the National Transportation Safety Board says that faulty altimeters or human error were the most likely causes of the 1970 plane crash which killed most of the Marshall University football team. But the report says there is not enough evidence to positively determine the cause.
Gowdy at the Olympics. To beat a world record, it takes almost as much foot as it does heart. So the world's best athletes don't take chances with their feet. More times than not, they use Destinex. Destinex helps avoid itchy, burning athlete's foot. In fact, Destinex has been selected for use by the U.S. Olympic team in 1964, 1968, and 1972. That's a record we're proud of.
your lawn, millions of blades of grass, and those last few can bring you to your knees. But a Black & Decker lawn care manicures walk, driveways, patios, almost as fast as you can walk. Turn its head and it trims, too. Get off your knees. Get a Black & Decker lawn edger and trimmer. Expect the best lawn and garden tools from Black & Decker for less than you expect.
In Northern Ireland today, terrorists shot and killed 3 British soldiers. The attack appears to be in retaliation for the fatal shooting by British troops yesterday of an Irish Republican Army official. 2 of the soldiers killed today were gunned down in Londonderry, and the 3rd was hit by sniper fire during a skirmish on Belfast's Lower Falls Road. We have a report from Keith Graves of the BBC.
Local soldiers are running hard following the shooting by the army yesterday of David Buchanan, the Triple IRA leader. By lunchtime, about 300 youths and children were busy strengthening the barricades that started to build up to what became the worst incident of rioting in Belfast for a considerable time. What we were witnessing here was a story birth ahead of the Roman Catholic truce following the Westminster Peace Initiative. By late afternoon, the army was trying to move it. During one such operation, an armored gate came under fire. There's more. The shots were aimed from somewhere inside the press complex at the left of the armored vehicle. One bullet went through a narrow observation slit at the rear and hit Second Lieutenant Nicholas Hull, who died in hospital. With the rest of the men at the scene today in Green Island for strange things. The hysteria of Belfast, relatively peaceful of late, it has been the worst and violent since the trouble started 3 years ago.
While diplomats wonder what effect the bombings of Hanoi and Haiphong may have on President Nixon's planned trip to Moscow, high sources indicate tonight that Mr. Nixon now plans to visit Poland on his way home in May from the Soviet Union and Iran. Bert Hooton is a Chicago Cub baseball pitcher who was not bothered by the recent players' strike. We know that because with one out in the ninth inning today, he struck out Philadelphia power hitter Darren Johnson. And then followed by striking out Greg Luzinski to end the game. He won 4-0. He pitched a no-hitter. In golf, Jane Blaylock won the biggest purse ever for women, $20,000. And then there's Kjell Isaacson of Sweden. Matt Pole in Los Angeles yesterday was 18 feet 2 inches, breaking the world record of 18.1 set a week ago by Isaacson.
Getting out of a sleeping bag at the first bite of morning can be the warmest feeling in the world. The soft warmth of a Coleman bag is, well, it's the whole family actually sleeping through the first night. Because Coleman builds comfort in every sleeping bag from the ground up. Only Coleman puts a layer of comfort between you and those little jabs that can get to be mountains in the middle of the night. And room to spread, forget your roughness. But you feel so good. Let your Coleman dealer be your guide for outdoor sleeping comfort. We'll show you what to look for. Just another day. It will be a momentous one for John Young, Thomas Mattingly, and Charles Duke as they embark on the most important adventure of their lives, the flight of Apollo 16 to the moon. CBS News with Walter Cronkite and Wally Schirra will bring it all home, from blast-off to splashdown and recovery. Journey with them and live it all, beginning Sunday, April 16th.
The Apollo 16 astronauts rehearsed today for Sunday's scheduled moon launch. The television pictures send they sent back to Earth from the flight that may be dramatically superior to previous transmissions, as Bill Curtis reports from North Hollywood, California. When Apollo 15 prepared to blast off the moon's surface in August 1971, viewers saw this picture, remarkable at the time. Now advancements enable us to see this picture. It is called image enhancement, with a picture so free from interference, scientists can study the planet over television. For instance, when NASA officials saw this enhanced version of a blast-off, they discovered a few extra parts flying around they hadn't seen before. The television picture is electronically taken apart, and then by computer put back together much clearer. It all happens at a young company in North Hollywood, California, Image Transform Incorporated. Apollo 16 pictures will travel from the moon to California's Goldstone Receiving Station to Houston's NASA headquarters, back to the small building in North Hollywood for enhancement, then again to Houston for the world to see, all in less than a second. Compared with the multi-billion-dollar NASA facilities, these offices could fit in a broom closet. And that's about where the young company is keeping a secret, but the product sells itself, turning round images into distinct rocks and crevices. NASA signed a contract with the firm 24 hours after they saw these results. If all goes well on Apollo 16, it will be hard to tell the difference between simulation and the real thing. Bill Curtis, CBS News, North Hollywood, California.
This is Friday the 14th. This is the last day of dress rehearsal for the astronauts of Apollo 16. Tomorrow's the day off, Sunday's takeoff for the moon.
Everything is go for launch in the Apollo 16 countdown tonight, and if that continues, launch will be on schedule Sunday noon.
Astronauts Young, Mattingly, and Duke went through some last-minute training today. Tomorrow, they'll get some last-minute rest and relaxation. Moon Collins sets the stage for the next expedition to the moon.
The familiar orchestration is taking place at the launch site where the Apollo 16 is being made ready for flight. No problems have interfered with this preparation. Though Apollo 16 is the only one of the series to be recalled to the assembly building for repairs. That happened last month and forced a 1-month delay. Those problems in the past, the future finds 16 headed for the Descartes crater area. As we look at the moon, it is below the equator and to the right of center. This is highland area, formed apparently by two types of lava flows, one thin and the other thick. Young and Duke will spend 21 hours outside the rim, exploring craters, taking samples, transported by a lunar rover like that of Apollo 15. For the first time, man will use the moon as an observatory for a new camera. An ultraviolet camera is to be aimed at the far galaxies and the space. Time is running out of the Apollo series. 16 is the next to last. And when it's all over, in December, 12 men will have trod the surface. John Young and Charles Duke plan to be the 9th and the 10th. This is Rick Collins, CBS News, Cape Kennedy.
Good evening. Here at the Kennedy Space Center, the countdown for Sunday's scheduled launch of Apollo 16, the next to last of the planned moon mission, continues without a hitch. We'll have details later in this broadcast. Direct from CBS News headquarters at the Kennedy Space Center, this is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite and Roger Marsh reporting from the CBS Newsroom in New York. In a minute, Walter Cronkite reports from Cape Kennedy on Sunday's scheduled launching of Apollo 16 to the moon. By now, a familiar sight, the Saturn V rocket poised on the launch pad to send another team of Apollo astronauts to the moon. Everything has gone smoothly so far with the countdown. Weather conditions at launch time, 12:54 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday, are expected to be satisfactory. This is to be a 12-day mission to the moon's central highlands, man's first close-up look at a type of terrain that covers more than 3/4 of the moon's surface. The 4 previous Apollo landings, in contrast, were in low and upland areas of the moon. This time, the landing site is near the Descartes crater, 7,400 feet above the Apollo 11 landing site, 150 miles away. This is a simulation of the landing site with which the astronauts have been practicing. Although it is a mountain region, their target is a comparatively flat area called the Cayley Plain. The pictures of the area have been sparse. They show nothing smaller than 40 feet across. There could be some good-sized boulders and craters there for the astronauts to dive. The men charged with the job, 41-year-old Navy Captain John Young, veteran of 3 space flights, and space rookie, 34-year-old Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Charles Duke. Overhead in the command module will be 36-year-old Navy Lieutenant Commander Ken Mattingly. One innovation on this flight, once on the moon, there will be no built-in sleep period before the men begin their first walk. Young told David Shoemaker why.
Charlie and I have been kicking it around for a long time, and after talking to all the other guys that went to the moon, once you hit the moon, you're all keyed up and ready to go, and I thought, well, let's do our best and hit right at the beginning once you get there. It's just too darn tough to hit the moon and go right to sleep. I just don't think human beings exist that can do that. To be looking out the window with your major objectives and your goals practically in your fingertips and then turn around and sleep soundly for 8 hours.
Excitement about the space program has cooled. The questions have increased as to why we keep sending men back to the moon at $450 million a trip. On Apollo 16, there are a number of new scientific experiments, a record 73 hours on the moon, and 3 trips out onto the lunar surface, exploring the unvisited highlands. And, of course, more lunar samples to be collected.
And a lot of people say, well, it's just what's another bag of rocks? Well, it's just not another bag of rocks. It's a bag of rocks that tells the total history of the evolution of our solar system. And to me, that's a stupefying thought. That you can go up and pick up rocks that are as they were and in its original form, many of them, over 3 to 4 billion years ago. Now, that's a long time. And it's
we can understand through the study of the moon, understand the early processes that went on in the dynamic processes that developed our solar system and our Earth, then I think we'll have a better understanding of the planet on which we live, and we'll be able to plan better for the future in exploration of minerals and things like that.
With just one more Apollo launch scheduled from that pad out there, the next long-range space program is the Space Shuttle. Today it was announced that they will be launched from here and from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. A great relief to this Florida complex which feared it might be phased out forever. The shuttle is the space taxi concept. Big boosters, partially recoverable, and spaceships that will come back to Earth and land like a plane, to be used over and over again. Meanwhile, the immediate task is getting Apollo 16 off the ground. CBS News coverage of the liftoff will begin at 12:30 Eastern Time Sunday. It's the Walter Cronkite, CBS News, at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
Camp Fletcher said all systems are go for the launch of Apollo 16 tomorrow at Cape Kennedy. From the Cape, Reed Collins reports on a minor hitch.
While the count has gone smoothly, one signal problem has cropped up aboard the spacecraft. The gauge's pressure in the fuel cell hydrogen tank has been putting out a false signal. This, in turn, triggers the caution and warning system inside the spacecraft, where a light goes on and a buzzer sounds. Launch officials have disconnected the light and the buzzer from the hydrogen gauge. In flight, the crew will be able to monitor the real pressures on the spacecraft's dashboard, but they won't be bothered by the faulty alarms going off. The data is constantly watched in mission control in Houston also, and officials seem not concerned over flying minus one indicator of trouble. This is Reed Collins, CBS News, Cape Kennedy.
For the three Apollo 16 astronauts themselves, it's final day before they blast off to the time of rest with no required activities. The countdown for Sunday's launching of Apollo 16 is going as scheduled, no problem. The space agency says that it soon to be implemented Space Shuttle program will use bases at Cape Kennedy and at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. Those sites would be used for launchings and landings of the multiple trip vehicles. They are counting towards zero in tomorrow's small launch window at Cape Kennedy. No major problems in the Apollo 16 countdown, but there have been some small ones. The weather people say conditions should be good for the moon flight. Astronauts Young, Duke, and Mattingly have today to themselves. One of them, Charles Duke, went flying. Liftoff is scheduled tomorrow at 12:54 p.m. Eastern Time, and the time span or window acceptable beyond that time is only 4 hours. After that, the launch would have to be delayed until May 14th.
The Apollo 16 astronauts had the day off to relax today before tomorrow's scheduled launching to the moon. All the contact reports from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Out on that launch pad, there hasn't been a second's delay in preparation. The weather is expected to remain like this, perfect. So far, it's been the smoothest of all the smooth Apollo countdowns, and looks like another on-time departure for the moon. 12:54 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. The passengers, John Young and Charles Duke, will spend 3 days on the moon, and Ken Mattingly will spend that time orbiting the moon alone in the command shack. Mattingly also will be making a spacewalk 200,000 miles out from Earth on the spaceship's return trip. On the moon, Young and Duke may show us some spectacular new television views from 750 feet up the slope of one of these two mountains they hope to explore. As for this launch tomorrow, most of the world will watch by television. And it looks like a fair portion of it's going to be right here in person. It being a Sunday, midday, and with the added draw of this area now at Disney World, just 50 miles away, authorities are expecting the biggest crowd ever for a space launch. That would be around the million figure, and that will mean massive traffic jams. The honored guests for this shot include King Hussein of Jordan, the Russian poet Evgeny Yevtushenko, Vice President Agnew, President Nixon's daughters, and the usual sprinkling of cabinet members, governors, ambassadors, and the like. Our CBS News coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern Time tomorrow. It's the Walter Cronkite, CBS News, Kennedy Space Center, Florida.
The countdown continues for the Apollo 16 moon flight. It's described as one of the smoothest on record. In the words of one official, we're all go. Liftoff time for the Saturn rocket and its three-man crew is 12:54 tomorrow afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. After months of strenuous training, astronauts John Young, Thomas Mattingly, and Charles Duke had a day off today, and Francois basket in the sun.